and have a great time. And hopefully next year.
And maybe even some of us older owners is, but I'm back.
Mizzah, it's the show about Mizzah Tee. It's the show about Mizzah Tee. Hey there, fools! It's your boy Mizzah Tee here, and I'm so excited to talk about the reveal finally of the Nintendo NX, now known as the Nintendo Switch. Pretty cool concept, pretty cool name. I actually wonder now that we know it's the abbreviations for it would be the NS, if that was actually what it always was, and Iwata was misheard or misquoted, because NS and NX sound really close together. So maybe it was always NS, but NX got out there and they just kind of ran with it, and they thought maybe it'd be a good way to help hide what the console actually is. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. NS, NX, pretty close. So anyway, and it kind of speaks to what Kineshima was saying. Why he was baffled that it was the NX as the code name, because maybe he always knew it as a Nintendo Switch. So pretty cool. But anyway, let's talk about it. So it kind of takes a little bit of the thunder, along with the fact that a lot of the rumors, at least about the concept of the controller and all that stuff itself, was already known. So it kind of took a little thunder from that. And also, like, we've been talking about a hybrid for forever. Like, people have been speculating on that since Nintendo talked about merging their software, their handheld software companies, or their handheld software duties, at least, with the console stuff. So because of all that, it's kind of taken a little bit of the luster, but there are still obviously things we don't know about the console that could lead to revolution. I'm sure we can't see everything. We can't see everything right now with this small amount of information. They only put out a 3.5 minute trailer, and it just kind of gave you some ideas of the concept. It reminded me of honestly the Wii stuff, the Wii commercials, the Wii promos, with the guy diving over the couch using a pointer, and you can hear stuff, but you couldn't see what the people were doing. And it kind of felt like that, because Nintendo was kind of telling you, hey, this is what you can do. These are the possibilities. And then we'll focus on software later. But they also they also showed new software and maybe conceptual software. I don't know yet. I have to really look at it again, but I'm going to talk about that in a different video. This is about the NS, or the Nintendo Switch itself. It's really growing on me. I really like the name of it. So let's get a good look at it here. And very nicely designed. The shape of this reminds me of like the original Sega Saturn controller. But it brings into question, like, what, obviously these slide off and they'll slide onto the dock here, or the tablet here. And I'm wondering if this has any other function. You see these two lights here. Is that some kind of indicator of, I have no idea. I have no idea what that's an indicator of. So let's take a look at some of the buttons. This looks like probably a start button. That is a home button there, it looks like. Maybe this is the share button people were talking about. I can't really make out what the little indentation is on it, and that's obviously a minus button for something, maybe select. And I really like the design. I like the gray on the black. I like how that looks. I like this whole this whole logo here of the little, basically the two slide-on controller pieces here. That's just a kind of a gestation of what they look like, what they would look like conceptually. And it's right here too. And then Nintendo's obviously been using their vaunted red color again. They've been using it in new stuff, like the new ad stuff. What's the logo? Something about play. I can't remember. I never can remember it. It's so simple, but I can't remember it. But they're going back to that Nintendo Red, and it's cool to have a console from Nintendo that actually has Nintendo in the title. That we haven't had that since GameCube, basically. So it's cool to have that back. And I mean, I like the matte design. It's not a glossy finish. You know, that's not a big deal, but it just gives it a better look. And obviously here is the tablet part of it. And there's a whole lot of questions to what the tablet can do on its own and what it's going to do in this dock here. So apparently a lot of those rumors are right. It is a tablet based console that docks, and I don't know if the dock will do anything on its own or what the dock does to enhance the system. I'm sure all the CPU and all that stuff is inside the tablet itself, and maybe there's more CPUs inside the dock that will help, and RAM and all that good stuff. I'm sure we'll get all that information at some point, but it's really cool to finally see this thing. Let's move on to another picture here, and this picture just basically shows you all the different options. And yes, this is the best thing. One of the best things to me is that they are game cards. This will not be a disc-based system. This was rumored for a while now, and it seemed very likely. It made a lot of sense, and I'm so glad this is happening. So Nintendo can save you some money by making a smaller hard drive in the console, because you don't have to download the game. You can just download the DLC. So they can start a 500 gigabyte hard drive in the Switch, if they provide that, will be exponentially better than any other console, because you're not downloading the game as well. You just end up downloading like DLC and stuff. So it's already a way better option, and carts are just better now, obviously, because they have the capacity of I think what's the biggest one, 120, 128 right now. There might be bigger ones than that, but so yeah, you can fit these big ultra HD games onto carts now, and it's not overly expensive. It's not. I'm sure it's going to be comparative if you buy, and if the Nintendo buys in bulk, which they obviously will. So that is awesome. This is just the Switch here docked by itself. This was the image from the video of the lady playing the new Mario game, which I will talk about in a separate video. Like I said, there's Breath of the Wild on the tablet part itself. I like the design of it. It looks a lot like some of that concept stuff we saw. As far as like the shape of it, I really like the design of it. I'm not sure how comfortable. Let's see, find a better picture here. How comfortable these will be in your hands separately. Like, these are small. I got big hands, fairly big hands, not huge or anything, but I got big hands, and it's like, I don't know how comfortable these things are going to be in separate hands for a long period of time. So that worries me a little bit. But there obviously are other options. I'm wondering if maybe this is probably what you're gonna get in the box. And this is pretty cool. Like, you don't have to have the Pro controller, which I will get also as well. But this will be basically your quote unquote standard setup. And so this is probably what you're gonna get, obviously, other than cords and whatnot in the box. And maybe there's a bundle that comes with this bad boy here, which is the new Pro controller, which looks pretty damn similar to a Xbox One controller, which is good because Xbox One controller is pretty damn awesome. It's pretty well designed, and the D-pad remains, and it looks like this is what they were talking about with the broken D-pad, but it's only for this setup. Like, obviously for the Pro, you don't have that, but they went with this because when you take it apart, you basically flip this, that way, and this will be your controller, and these will be your action buttons. And same thing with this, even though this is a little bit rougher because it's higher. If this was maybe further down, it wouldn't feel comfortable, obviously, when you have it set up like this. But that's, so whoever has this side of the controller is going to have a little tougher go, but I'm sure it'll still be fine. So yeah, this is probably, like I said, what you're going to get in the box. And maybe there'll be a one with a gamepad, or not a gamepad. There'll be one with a Pro controller as well. So yeah, that's just the same picture there. So yeah, there's another one. Yeah, so this is pretty damn cool. And obviously, some of the software is Wii U games, mostly Wii U games. Other than that, Mario and maybe the Skyrim. It looked like it was Skyrim. But again, I'm going to talk about the software in a different video. I just wanted to go over the hardware. And I love this conceptual stuff. This is like what you see this image here. See if I can make it bigger. Maybe I'll just open it up in a... come on. Open it up and yeah, here we go. So when you blow it up, it's gonna not be as pretty, but oh well. So I mean, this is the type of stuff you see for DS. This is the type of advertising you see for DS. This all-inclusive thing, and if this takes off, this is what is gonna need to happen. I think a big part of what's gonna need to happen for the Nintendo Switch to take off. This kind of social interaction with other people with Switches, like this is what Nintendo is banking on, looks like, for the Nintendo Switch. And I think it's a very possible thing. I think for sure this will happen in their homeland. This will happen in Japan. You'll see these scenes of people doing this, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff like Street Pass and all that is gonna be in here. The possibilities, man, are endless. That's why I say, even though this is more of an evolution, the outcome could be revolutionary. Just having a home console on the go with all the bells and whistles of game, of all the bells and whistles of like mobile social gaming, and that is a game changer. Yeah, here's a photo of how it looks to hold these tiny little controllers. I don't think people will be doing this too much, but here's where it'd be cool. You see this little bar coming out here. I'm sure not sold separately, or not sold separately. I'm sure sold separately. This little bar coming out here, and people in the back seat, on a little trip, playing on the same screen and both having a controller. And all you have to do is bring the tablet part, and you have a 2-player setup already that you can play. I mean, this is a very cool thing. Obviously, this is not going to happen a whole lot, but that would make for a pretty cool commute. Here's a better, closer shot of the game cards. I wish they were a little better, but it makes sense why they're small. Obviously, because they have to go into the tablet itself. They probably would have made it bigger if it went into the dock, but if it went into the dock, that means you couldn't take the game with you. So it makes all the sense in the world if you look at it that way. And you see some, I think these are vents. I don't think they're ports or anything. So this thing is well ventilated. This is one of the things I worried about when people talked about a hybrid console, is that, having this thing will overheat. Say you're playing it on the go, and then you get home and you want to dock it and play more. It's still using the chipset, it's still using the chips from here. So it potentially you could be playing this thing for 10 hours. And this is just the tablet. So that was one of the worries. And it's cool that you can see the trigger R2 here and the R button there. And I'm sure it's the same on the other side, obviously, with the L. There's a nice little kickstand there. If you want to just put it on the table like this right here. This is all so very cool, man. I mean, I'm pretty excited. Like I said, some of my excitement is blunted because of what we already knew, and I wasn't sure if we knew what we knew, because I didn't think we'd have this much information ahead of time. But even with all that, I think the possibilities are still beyond what we realize right now. And I'm sure over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, people are going to be coming up with concepts, me included, of what could happen. One of them was, for me, is that you're going to be able to play Wii U games on this. Now, obviously, it had to be downloaded. unless Nintendo does something weird like add some kind of a, what do you call it, what's the thing called, like a disk drive or something, a USB disk drive for Wii U games. That would be awesome. I totally would buy that, to plug into the dock so you can play. But the fact that we have this controller here that has that basically is a tablet, you can be home and say, like I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X lately, trying to finish it, and you can be home and you could be playing Xenoblade Chronicles X on the NS, the Nintendo Switch, and you could use this screen the way you use the gamepad. Basically, it goes into Wii U mode, so you would have to use this and then pairing it with the dock somehow. You could still play on TV and still have this screen. That's, I guess, that probably can't happen, but we don't know. We don't know how the operating system works. I'm really interested in the DNA aspect of this, like what, the company they acquired, DNA, what, social interaction, because they obviously worked on all that stuff. So that stuff should be on point. A lot of the gripes with Nintendo's Online and all that stuff should dissipate once we find out all the, everything here. It looks like those are 2 USBs. I'm not sure. Those could be USB ports there. So you can, add obviously a hard drive or whatever, or a disk drive for Wii U games. That's probably a pipe dream. But this is pretty exciting stuff. I guess I'm a little surprised, again, like how close some of this stuff was to some of the later rumors that came out. And it is confirmed that NVIDIA is working on a chipset. So that's another rumor that was correct. I guess in this world that we live in, it's hard to keep secrets, everything, hard to keep secrets, on everything that you're working on. If you're trying to hide and be secretive, in this world is really hard to do that. But this is very cool. Look at that controller. It looks pretty nice. Looks pretty sturdy. I like it. I like it. A Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm excited. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for the Nintendo NS, the Nintendo Switch? You have any ideas that I didn't go over, or you want to talk about, put them down in the comments below. I will definitely read them. And that's it for this video. Stay tuned for me talking about software possibilities, talking about the new Mario game right here. Woo! How beautiful it looks and what's going on in this little scene here. I love it. There's a lot in here. Doesn't look like it. It was so short, but there's a lot going on. I want to talk about that later. So stay tuned to Mizzah Tee. Stay tuned, guys. That's it for this video, and I'll see you fools next time. Nintendo Switch fools. Ha ha. And thank you all for watching Mizzah Tee Show.